What's up, muscle car people? And this is Bring It Muscle Cars, and I'm Matt. We're back at it again with another install. This time we're gonna install the BMR tubular radiator support. Part number is RS003, and this is gonna remove 10 pounds right off the front of the car. And this model allows us to retain the sway bar, which they have another model which does not, which would probably shed even more weight because you're going to lose the sway bar. The tools we're going to need for this install is an 18mm deep socket, a 15mm deep socket, a 9/16mm socket, and also the wrenches that go with those, and a 9/16 wrench. They say this is going to take an hour. Let's time it. My guess is going to take me a little bit more than an hour. So let's walk through this and see how the install goes. This video is going to be a complete install. I'm going to show you all the taking out the hardware, changing everything over step by step. So if you have any questions, you should be able to figure it out from the video and take it from there. First step is to remove this plastic piece. Not sure why, but I have, mine are 6mm bolts. And so from the bottom, you're going to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. And that's going to give you access to the radiator support. It's just a plastic panel that protects it. So let's remove them. Here's what it looks like with the shroud removed. You can actually see my VMP heat exchanger and just how big it is with the dual fans. Trying to follow the instructions. Step number 3 says remove 8 bolts for the OE chassis brace. However, I can't find it. It may be because I already have the K member installed that they just removed it then and couldn't put it back on. So we will go to step 3 or step 4 and remove the sway bar. The 4 bolts holding the sway bar on, which are 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll remove those now and then we'll go to step 5. Alright, so we have the sway bar removed, and now we have to do step 5, which is remove these 4 bolts. 2 right there, and 2 on the other side, and then the whole brace will come down. They say you do not need to support the radiator and that it will be supported, I guess, by the hoses. So let's get those removed. We got to use the 18mm socket. Alright, we got the factory one out. Didn't take much time at all. Really, it's pretty simple. Holy cow, this is the factory piece. It's pretty heavy. Actually, it looks pretty sturdy, unlike some of the other parts we've taken off. But the thing about it is, it's way out front and it's heavy. So let's just try to go. See if I can hold both of them. This one is just lighter. Has all the same mounting points. So this is the way it's gonna go. But we're gonna remove 10 pounds. So removing weight is always good. Alright, now let's get back to the install. Alright, step 6 is to remove the bushings from the factory K member. These 2 bushings. And install them
on the new one, BMR. Done. All right.
Step 7 is to replace the new BMR and put in the 4 bolts, well, the 4 nuts that we just took off, and then it will be mounted to the car, and then we'll start reassembling everything else. Once you have the bolts installed, they need to be tightened down to 75 foot-pounds before we can move on to the next step. I'll do that now. Next step is to reinstall the sway bar, and we're going to use the supplied 3/8 by 1.25 bolts with the nuts and the washers to install it. And we're going to put one bolt here, one there, one on this side, one on this side, just like what we took off. And then we will be done. Here's the finished product. We had to tighten these bolts on the sway bar down to 45 foot-pounds. But this is it. We got to put the shroud back on. But I will do that after, because I think I may end up installing more parts right now. So that's it.
Alright, I already knew that my shroud underneath was broken. It broke last year. I think I broke it when I pulled out of the driveway, bottomed out one time. So last year I had bought right from Shelby replacement. The part number says it's a Ford Mustang Shelby GT500 KR factory bottom engine cover. It's literally the same thing, so I don't know what makes it KR compared to just a regular Mustang or a regular Shelby. But we have a new one. You can see that the tabs are not broken, so we're going to install it at the same time and go from there.
You lose the mounting points for the shroud because of the BMR Radiator Support. So what I've seen other people do is they mount it down here, and then they basically zip tie it up here. It's kind of cheap, but I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll see if I can zip tie it tight enough so it doesn't bounce around, and we'll test it out.
So the install is all done for the radiator support. It took an hour. Install on the BMR Radiator Support is all done. One thing that they don't tell you that you need, I already have it because I've been doing all these other installs, is a torque wrench. So you're going to need one that goes to at least 75, and you'll also have to have one that goes to 45. So you need those two. Luckily I already had them, so it wasn't a big deal. You also needed a 6mm socket to get the shroud off, to remove those 7 screws. I also needed a knife because there was a zip tie holding the radiator support, the factory radiator support, to a cable. So, and also needed a pry bar. It took me an hour and 20 minutes to do the install while I was also filming, so that adds probably 20 minutes at least. So when they say an hour on this install, it really is an hour, and it's a very simple install. Just basic hand tools. There's not really any room to get the power tools in there, so the only ones you can use is to drop the K-member, those 4 bolts, and then to put them back up. That's it. Thanks for watching this install video. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comment section down below. If you made it this far, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. We still have more installs on phase 2 coming, and then we'll also have phase 3 coming pretty shortly. And remember, if you got a fast car, you better bring it.